Hi class, this is Kamran Ali. Today I'll be talking about reported speech. Let's suppose if I want to tell you about something which has been said by our mutual friend. Now there are two choices. I can report or tell you that thing in his, exact in his words, right? Using his words. Or I can, report about what he said using my own words. So if I'm using his exact words or his words exactly, then actually I am putting it using the direct speech. So for example, our mutual friend is Ali, and I want to say that Ali said, and if I say that Ali said, he will, I will come tomorrow. Now these are the exact words of Ali, right? So this is called direct speech. But if I don't want to, use the exact words of Ali and I want to convey the message using my own words, right? Okay, then probably I'm engaged with the reported speech. Let me give you an example. Ali said that. So I should be he now because these are my own words, right? And I'm talking to you, and to us, he is the third person, right? Okay, so it should be the third. It should be third person singular. He, because I'm using the past tense when I'm reporting, and it's the same clause now. It hasn't been broken by speech marks and all that. So I can say Ali said that he would come the next day, right? So this is called reported speech. Another name for it is indirect speech. Why indirect? Because I'm not using his exact words, right? I'm using my own words, right? I'm putting his message in my words, right? Okay, or all right, or I'm using my words for his message, right? Okay, or to convey what he said. All right, okay, now let's go ahead. Let me use mouse here. If you just look at these sentences, right? Okay, you can immediately figure out that they all are in reported speech because there are no speech marks involved here, right? Uh, it doesn't have any speech marks, quotation marks, or comma or anything else, right? He says he wants it. We think you're right. Okay. I believe he loves her. Yesterday you said you didn't like it, but now you do, right? She told me he had asked her to marry him. I told you she was ill. We thought he was in Australia, right? So all of them are in reported speech because we don't see any speech mark, we don't see any comma, right? It seems that the author has used his own words to talk about what people said, right? Okay. Now, let's have a look at some examples where we can see how the direct speech is changed into indirect speech. And please let me tell you once again, all of them are indirect statements, right? Okay. Or we also can say that they are in reported speech. Okay, let me clear all of them. Let's go ahead now. Okay, here are some more examples, and you look very nice. I told him he looked very nice. So, if you are saying it to someone, or you said it to someone that you look very nice, So probably it can be written like this. I said to him, right? So if I want to say this indirectly, right, without using uh, this exact words, right? So I can write it this way. I told him that is optional. He looked. Why? Because I was talking to him, right? So I can, instead of like, I was talking to him, right? So here I can use the third person singular. When I was talking to him, I used you. I use the pronoun you. But now when I'm reporting about it, right, or I'm telling somebody else, right, now this person who I called you, right, is the third person to us, the one who I'm talking to, right, and of course to me as well. He's the third person. So I told him, him, that, or he looked very nice. Why? Because because you has been replaced by he, right? Because now this person is the third person because I'm not talking to him, right? So I won't be using second person pronoun here. All right. And look has been changed into the past tense because I over here told is in the past tense, right? Okay. So we need to have tense consistency over here. So if this, if because it's been done in written in one sentence now. I told him that he looked very nice. So this is one sentence, right? And we can see when it was written in the direct speech, right? We had actually separated these clauses with comma and speech marks and all that. But that they're no more, separate, right? Is that clear? So I told him that. So that means there are two clauses being combined because that is optional, right? So I told him this is one clause. He looked very nice. This is another clause. And this whole thing is one sentence. If this is one sentence, and if I'm using here past tense, I have to use here also past tense. And if I write it this way, I told him that he looks nice. This is grammatically wrong because here we have past tense, here we have present tense. So in both clauses, we got to have past tense. So that's why we switch the tense, right? We switch it backward, right? Okay. Now let me clear all of these. Same goes for all of these sentences. Just see over here, has bought has changed into had bought, right? Okay. She said, Joe can't come for the weekend. So she said Joe couldn't. So can't is changed into the past tense could, right? We don't need to change this verb over here. Why? Because when you change the auxiliary verb, you don't have to change the main verb, right? Okay. Will has been changed here into would, right? So you can note all of that, right? Please keep one thing in mind that should remains should, might remains might, right? So some modal verbs they remain the same, they don't change, right? Okay, now let's go ahead. Now, here is one more example, and this is slightly different because sometimes it depends on the context also. If what you're talking about is still true, is still valid, then you can break the rule and you can use present tense in the next clause. He said the train doesn't stop here. So that means it never happens, right? It's true, it's still true, right? He said the train didn't stop here, right? This is also fine. But the statements, the things which are still true, All right, when you're talking about, especially when we are talking about states, right, you can use present simple tense also. You can break the rule, right? She said she likes Sarah. So, of course, she still likes Sarah. So, that's why it can be written this way. It can be written. But on the safe side, as a non native speakers, you should change the tense. This is my recommendation, my suggestion, right? Okay, finally, we have something to talk about pronouns. Pronouns in reported speech: I, we, me, mine, us, ours changes into he, she, they, his, her, their, him, her, them. Right? So this category or this lot gets changed into this one. Right? These keep this thing in mind. You and yours change according to the person of the object, the reporting verb. Right? So for example, um, she said to me, you are stupid. Okay. Now it's me. So I should report it this way that she told me. Please remember when we refer to the person after said to, we got to use told. So she told me that because it's me. So who was you? I. I was stupid, right? This is how you have to change it. So it depends on what's being used here after reporting verb. The pronoun after reporting verb is very important to decide whether to you have to which pronoun you got to change you and yours into, right? All right, thank you class, hope you've understood everything, and please do practice a lot because on the then you will improve on reported speech. Take care of yourself.